When we think of the Wallace family in NASCAR, we immediately think of Rusty Wallace. Notice I didn't say Rusty Wallace. Haha! No, but for real. Rusty Wallace is a Hall of Fame NASCAR driver with over 50 career wins, a NASCAR championship. He's got the whole package. But what about the rest of the Wallace family? One brother in particular that many people talk about but don't really talk about is none other than the Herminator himself, Kenny Wallace. Kenny Wallace started his kind of rise to NASCAR kind of like in the mid-80s, early 90s, kind of when his brother was doing it too. His brother was able to get the opportunities that Rusty truly deserved, but Kenny really didn't get those opportunities. Sure, he had a semi-successful Busch Series career and was in the highlights for a while, had some decent finishes here and there, but he just never really got that team or ride to really go out there and win races and championships. I think Kenny really could have done a great job if he got that opportunity, but I guess we'll never know. The most historic finish of Kenny Wallace's career is when he pushed none other than Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator, to his final win at Talladega in 2000. It kind of seems ironic though, because after Steve Park got injured in 2001, DEI called Kenny Wallace and asked him to drive the 1 car. Little did anybody know that Kenny Wallace was so close to changing his career in one race, the 2001 Pop Secret 400. So Kenny Wallace started on the pole, and it was a sold-out crowd at Rockingham. I miss the Rockingham days so much, and I really hope NASCAR comes back to this track. But let's get right back to the whole point of the video. Kenny Wallace started out on the pole, and
trouble, turn 1 car is spun, it's Kyle.
Are you kidding me? You're wrecking already.
By Bill Elliott.
It's lap 1. Lap 1. I'm trying to talk to my fans here about Kenny Wallace, and you're wrecking already. You played yourself. Get out of here.
Well, there's the spotter's idea of what happened.
Let's just enjoy the rest of the video.
And Kyle's view as he tries to get it fired. Listen to him trying to start it.
Oh, he just got lapped. How frustrating is that? Oh, Kyle, I feel for you, buddy. I really feel for you. Talked to Tony Uri Jr. Tony Uri this morning, crew chief on the 8 car, said this is not Junior's favorite racetrack. But after this weekend, it might be Kenny Wallace's favorite racetrack of all time.
Won the pole here on Friday in this car, won the NASCAR Busch Series race yesterday, and in the hunt for his first NASCAR Winston Cup victory, though it's early in the event. Come and check out the Conseco NASCAR Fantasy Challenge. Pick your own team of drivers and see how you match up against other fantasy teams. Log on today and you might just win a replica of the number 14 Conseco Winston Cup Pontiac.
Tell you what, Kenny Wallace, this 1 car pole sitter, he has not ventured off the bottom of the racetrack. But meanwhile, we have a battle for the 2nd spot. Ricky Craven, the Tide Ride 32, drives up on the outside of Nadeau and takes that spot away.
So Nadeau faster in the first few laps of the run, but Craven better as we get more age on the tires.
And that's what's very important here.
Nothing's changed up front. Kenny Wallace still kind of cruising around there.
Well, something has changed because Ricky Craven is closing in on that 1 car. And I think Kenny Wallace is going to have to move to the top of the racetrack pretty soon. Meanwhile, Matt, what do you got for us?
Kenny Wallace was very comfortable running the bottom, but his crew chief, Paul Andrews, said try the high side because 3 or 4 other cars are actually faster than you on the high side. That's where you see Ricky Craven, the 25 and 55 cars. So Kenny went up high, but he said he felt better on the bottom, so he was going to go back down to the bottom, but he did search around a little bit, trying to see maybe that 1 car might feel a little better at a different part of the racetrack.
Look at Craven. Look as he comes off this corner and just looks like he gained bus links up in 3 and 4.
Bus links?
Bus links, not car links. I'm talking about Greyhound bus links.
Now, when he goes to 18-wheeler lengths, we'll know he's really done something. Bus links. So Craven eating up Kenny Wallace for the lead right now. Look how close he is to that wall.
And that's where he's making up all his time, BP. He's right up there in between 3 and 4. It's almost like a Darlington turn in 1 and 2.
It's a matter of laps before Ricky Craven has the lead. Look at this. Joe Nemechek working on Jeff Gordon. This would be for 7th place.
And Nemechek started in 13th.
Up front, the leaders caught the tail end of the field. Todd Bodine running in 41st place, about to be overtaken by leader Kenny Wallace. 36 laps complete. Kenny Wallace has led them all so far at Rockingham. Going to be a long day. His brother Brett just overtaken by the leader Kenny Wallace. Carl Long and Buckshot Jones have also been lapped under the green flag.
It's amazing how well that Kenny Wallace, how much better he's running since he moved up the racetrack. Dave Blaney, the 93 car, has fallen back in the grasp of Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's the battle for the 13th position. Dave Blaney started in 6th.
Blaney making one of his final drives for Bill Davis. End of this season, he moves to the 77 car, and Hut Strickland takes over this ride. Whoa. So, Stewart, after starting in 10th, moving forward at lap 54 to the runner-up spot. Check the gap. He's 1.8 seconds behind Kenny Wallace. There's the scoring serial on Tony Stewart. Kenny Wallace has led all of the laps so far. One caution flag. It happened in turn 1, lap 1, when Kyle Petty and Bill Elliott crashed in that corner. And he is by Kenny Wallace, second leader of the Pop Secret Microwave Popcorn 400.
Man, was that easy.
You can see how much less racetrack the 20 car is using than everybody else. The 1 and the 32 slide right up to the wall in turn 3 and 4. But the 20 car is staying a little bit lower, which means he does have a good handling car right now.
Kenny Wallace takes over as the leader after Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart and Joe Nemechek pitted. Kenny yet to come to the pit lane. There he is. Kurt Busch moves up to second. Again, not having made his pit stop. Sterling Marlin and Ricky Craven give up top 10 spots to pit road, and here comes your leader.
They realize they cannot stay on the racetrack they found the first time. And we see Carl Long has made some contact with the wall. Is he going to bring out the caution flag?
Nothing yet from the starter stand.
But can he get back down to the inside?
Nothing yet. Still under green. Kenny Wallace is in, making his pit stop.
I don't think Carl's going to be able to get down.
Caution. Caution's out. Matt?
And Kenny Wallace is in. They will make a track bar adjustment. They do right sides, and he's gone because of the caution. Could be a tough break for Kenny Wallace.
Get off that end of pit road fast, because Kurt Busch, the leader, is coming to it. Well, this could make things interesting.
Very good chance we are. Very good chance we are.
We're going to have to wait until the field comes back around to the start-finish line, but there is an excellent chance
97's the leader, and he is behind us.
that Kurt Busch is one of few remaining on the lead lap, by the virtue of this caution coming out during all the green flag pit stops.
Well, there again, that's exactly what happens when you pit too early and the caution flag comes out. But it's so hard to sit out there and watch those other cars make up 2 seconds a lap on you.
5 cars on the lead lap.
Now this dramatically changed the race. Back in the day in the old NASCAR rules, when a caution came out, the leader had to run back to the line. That's when the field would be frozen when the leader would cross the finish line, unlike today's rules where the leader doesn't have to do anything, the field is just frozen. Kenny Wallace was the leader when he came down pit road when Carl Long hit the wall. His crew chief made a great decision to take only 2 tires rather than 4 and stay in front of the 97 of Kurt Busch to stay on the lead lap. There was only 5 cars on the lead lap when this caution was finally over, giving Kenny Wallace a chance to really get that win or just get a great finish overall. So the real main question is, can Kenny Wallace still win the race? What's going to happen next? Who will come out victorious? Let's find out.
Craven gets by. Here comes the battle for the lead. Kenny Wallace, the 1 car, and the 97 for the lead.
Kenny Wallace led 64 laps in this thing so far.
And Kenny Wallace takes the lead on the backstretch, coming off 2.
Coming up on halfway here at Rockingham, 197. Will be the midway point of the race. Kenny Wallace, your new leader. All of these cars in front of that bright yellow machine want to see the caution flag now. And just don't want it to be for them. There's your leader, Kenny Wallace. working on the back of 13th place Sterling Marlin. You know, a lot of questions about what Kenny Wallace is going to be doing next year. He is substituting for the injured Steve Park in this one car, not knowing how long it's going to be before Steve comes back. What about it, Kenny? What's going to happen next year for you in this Winston Cup level?
I got a lot of great things happening for me right now, and I will be able to tell everybody at Atlanta what I'm going to do. It's just that, you know, when you're dealing with delicate situations like this about what I'm going to do, it doesn't come overnight, and you just can't talk about it because there's a lot of things involved. So I'm excited about next year, whatever I do, and we'll know at Atlanta for sure.
I tell you, Sterling is doing everything he can right now to stay on that lead lap. He's driving for all he's worth.
Kenny, one of the drivers seeking that elusive first career NASCAR Winston Cup win. Could it be today here at Rockingham? Just past the halfway point of the race, he's in great shape. He's your leader. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Microwave Popcorn 400 live on TNT. Just past the midway point of the race, watching a great fight for the lead. Joe Nemechek trying to take second from Kurt Busch and the lead from Kenny Wallace all at once.
Well, he had Kurt Busch, but Busch has that great runoff too, takes the second spot back. All right, Nemechek's got him this time.
So Joe up to second. Joe has already led 2 different times, total of 60 laps in this one. Nemechek started in 13th position. And here he goes. Kenny Wallace spent a long time fighting with Sterling Marlin to try and put him a lap down. Did he use up a little too much in his car too soon?
He probably did, and the worst part about it, he was never able to put the 40 car Marlin a lap down.
It looks like Nemechek's having some trouble getting some bite off the bottom of the corner. If he's going to do something, looks like with the one car, he's going to have to do it staying on the high side.
Ron Hornaday in the Conseco car is in 29th place. He's on the tail end of 1 lap down.
As a matter of fact, Hornaday just moved up and passed Kenny Wallace the last lap. So once again, here's Nemechek. And just can't quite get up that corner well enough.
Well, Alan, you talked about Stevie Reeves, the spotter on this one team, and that's one of the advantages that you have when you're when you have a spotter who's a former driver, because he knows what the driver's looking for, and he told Kenny that you look very good off of 2. He changed his line going from the bottom to the high side because he is on the tight side. They made a track bar adjustment and overcompensated for a good car. Now it's on the tight side. They're talking about going back up on the track bar on their next stop to Bill Weber.
Well, Matt, Allen was talking about the decisions that the crew chiefs and the car chiefs have to make down here on pit road, and the drivers making decisions on the track. Well, the spotters are doing an outstanding job. For instance, Joe Nemechek's spotter is Shannon McGlamory. He's not only helped him work his way through traffic, but he's told him throughout the day which parts of the track are working better, whether it's high, whether it's low, where the one car is running, what might be the best way to get around him. So while Andy Petrie has encouraged him from the pit box to be patient, Shannon upstairs is telling him the best way to weave his way around the track. There are 3 guys driving that car, not 1.
It's got to run this time off turn 2. Let's see if he can make it stick off 4.
I think he's going to slide up right in front of Kenny Wallace and take the lead away.
3rd time today, Joe Nemechek has led.
And here's Ricky Rudd trying to get his lap back.
Rudd, first car a lap down in 14th place.
Whoa.
And looks like the Rudd and those guys that worked on that car, and they have that car handling much better than the beginning.
Changes hands.
Kenny Wallace just hit about all he could stand to Kurt Busch, hounding him right on his back bumper. Is something wrong with Kenny Wallace's car? No.
I think he just got tired of having these guys hounding him, and at this point figured there's a long way to go. Let's just get me by myself.
That's exactly what happened.
We're not quite at 250 miles of this one. And you see Kenny Kenny and backing up.
Maybe at the end of this run, we'll get a little bit better. We'll make up some time. We're doing good, though. Don't worry about it.
That's crew chief Paul Andrews talking to Kenny.
Well, Alan, that's the kind of luck Johnny Benson has had this year. Great runs that have ended in great disappointment. But today, another strong run for the Valvoline team. Benson is loose in. He wants some spoiler put into the car when he pits. They're going to add a ½ pound of air pressure in the right front. Johnny Benson has had some good runs here at the North Carolina Speedway, but they've never ended in victory lane. He'd love to finish there today. Matt?
Kenny Wallace, Bill, is trying to sweep the weekend. He won a Busch race yesterday. He just climbed to third in the Winston Cup car, passing the 10 of Johnny Benson. He's pitting in the same stall, hoping to pick up his first Winston Cup victory. Kevin Bono Mannion, the car chief, told me they have worked the tightness out of this car by backing up on the track bar adjustment they did on the previous stop. Right now, they're formulating a plan for their last stop. Paul Andrews tells me they can go to about lap 365 on fuel if they have to, but a lot of other teams are going to pit earlier, and they've been following what the leaders have done today. Meanwhile, on the 25 of Jerry Nadeau, his car was loose on the last stop. They made an air pressure and wedge adjustment. I spoke to Gordon Gibbs, the car chief. He told me that Jerry has not said a lot on the radio, but he has said the car is better.
Ward Burton is in. Remember, the car was very, very tight. They will make an air pressure adjustment to handle that. Bill Davis, the car owner, will hand over the second can of fuel to the fueler. Matt?
Kenny Wallace in for his final stop. His best career finish with a second at Talladega following Dale Earnhardt. Now he's hoping to pick up his first win in one of Dale Earnhardt's cars. No adjustments on the one car, and he's down and away.
Good stop.
Good stop, 15.1, and we saw Jerry Nadeau's at 22.7.
And Kurt Busch back on the pit lane.
Oh, man.
You knew it wasn't going to get any better. Look at the smoke.
First year, 4,900.
Ben Leslie, the crew chief, barking out the instructions to Kurt Busch, and you know they'll be going for the hood pins here. Bad news for Joe Nemechek. Second place Kenny Wallace is consistently faster than he, lap after lap. Question is there enough time for Kenny to get to him?
Oh, I know what he's doing.
23 laps to go. We're commercial free to the finish after this break. Check. In search of Winston Cup victory number 2. Driving Andy Petrie's 33 car. He's led 179 of the 376 laps that we've run so far today.
And right now, Kenny Wallace was gaining. Kenny Wallace in the one car was gaining and looked like he might catch Nemechek with about 5 laps to go. But now, Nemechek has started to stabilize that lead at about 4.5 seconds.
The two running about identical lap times the last couple of circuits around, both in the 26.3s.
And I tell you, as this race wears on, they get near the end of the race. Visibility going in turn 1. We saw it about 45 minutes ago. We're going forward to Ward Burton and see what it looks like now.
Well, that's off of 2 there, BP.
Piece of cake, right?
That's looking good there.
Looking real good.
The handling went away about 2/3 of the way through, and he fell
Let him have all
behind.
the truck he wants.
White flag is up. Final lap for Joe
One more time,
Nemechek.
baby. One more time around.
His 250th NASCAR Winston Cup Series start. Victory number 1 came at Loudon, New Hampshire. September 1999. He was driving for Felix Sabates then. And now, November 2001. It's victory number 2.
Oh man, that's a tough break. Kenny Wallace almost got the win, but Joe Nemechek got his first career win. So I guess it's just as cool. Kenny Wallace had an incredible race, and there's no doubt about that. He started first, finished second, and led 101 of the 393 laps. I think if Kenny Wallace won this race, DEI would have given him a full-time opportunity in that one car for the next season or so, rather than going to the Busch Series. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys are ready for more Woulda, Coulda, Shouldas happening very, very soon. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more incredible videos. Man, the Wallace family has so much history. Maybe I can do a Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda on Stephen Wallace, maybe.
On his way back out, he didn't make it to pit road. There was a big accident there. He got sideways and he went into the fence, and you can see an extreme amount of damage on that race car.
On second thought, I'm good.